Welcome back, everyone. We're going to start out at the street. I'm going to go over everything that was done. House is complete. I had to move along. I couldn't do the videos for the rest of it. But the bushes, I have gone in and trimmed those up. They'll look beautiful come springtime. The best thing for me to do would be to cut them completely down to where it's not a maintenance issue for me, but they're so nice looking, I just can't do it. They were about as high as my hip when I bought this house, and the tallest they've been is probably 15 feet. So I trimmed them way back and got this little arch kind of woven back in. Put down some straw. It's been really windy today. It's been blowing it all over the place. Put some straw down because this was all muddy from tracking through the wet weather and the sewer job. So all this just kind of blew over here. Well, there's that. Porch painted. Bases of those columns painted white. Trim around the door painted. Polyurethane or a spar varnish on the little threshold there. Light bulbs replaced. Still need to do a little touch-up paint on that door. Gutters back up. This whole thing repaired and painted. I just kind of smoothed the dirt up down there. I'm not doing any lattice work right now. I'm not doing the retaining wall around the heat pump. That'll be fine. Put down some mulch right here and stepping stones and built this one single step. Replaced all of the locks on the house. Take our shoes off right here. No reason to track up the porch. New mailbox. Our old mailbox was a neat one, so I'm going to keep that. But it was also really small, so this one won't, just mail will go in it normally. The other one, they would always jam it in there, would rip the mail up. So it's going to be a little dark in here, I think. And there's still like a few little teensy things that need to be done, but I need to wrap this house up as far as filming goes. So there's like little things like that where I need to do some touch-up paint. I'm going to run around with a brush last second, put door stops. In here, nothing much, just touch-up paint. I drywalled that corner. I don't know if y'all remember that. You can still kind of see it. The paint that I got, the white paint wasn't the same white, but it's okay for now. Kind of, if you're not looking for it, you're not going to notice. Replacement blinds in here, cordless type. There we go. So I think y'all would remember I built the kitchen island for the house. Had the existing one here and built this one for the tenant or buyer, whatever it was. I ended up doing. So kitchen, same kitchen y'all are used to, just looks clean in here. Replaced the faucet. Let me take off this jingle jangle. Replaced the faucet because that was leaking. And I had this cherry trim that went around the backsplash, and I never put this piece on here, so I went ahead and put that on. This was never secured. It was just sitting there, just rocking back and forth. So that has been mounted to the floor and the wall, and this has been adhered to it. Floors and shelves cleaned. All this was in here when I lived here. So we'll take some views from different angles while we're walking around. Of course, this is wide angle, so this would be more of the perspective, size-wise. A lot of work happened on this door. It was just really rough. So I cleaned this door up a lot, got this hardware off of another old door I had, never had hardware on it. Did a lot of work on the inside of this door jamb. It was a mess, had this like silicone all over it and weather stripping added to it. Took this off the front door of this house. In here is the same. I primed over all of the knots. There was like probably 50 knots that had bled through the paint. I primed over those knots and repainted over them. Removed our junk. Vacuumed. Took down all those little strips of wood we had paintings hanging on. And I trimmed that door. And it just looks like I forgot to paint it. But what I did is I took some old lumber, planed it down, and polyurethane it. I always thought that would look neat. And then as soon as I put it up, I said, oh, it looks like it's just unpainted trim now. But I left it. It'll grow on me. I'll show you what it looks like out here. The door shut. Of course, this was just an open porch when I first did my initial renovation to this house. That's why it's an outdoor outlet. Normal window right here. It was just a handrail running over to a column, but y'all remember that, I think. Looking that way. So our dining room table was here. Living room here. TV was there. Kind of like a buffet. And then this used to be like a china cabinet right here that I kept my little nifty collectibles that I'd find, like arrowheads, turtle shells, stuff like that. Ended up being a play area. This mark here on the floor was, I think, originally some sort of a heater was right here because there was the chimney was right there. And this was just a single 32 or so inch doorway right here in that wall. I removed it to open it up. And that door right there used to be kind of centered where this wall connects to it. So I moved that over and built the laundry room there. And then the kitchen was U-shaped before. It's like a little, you go in it and it was like a little galley kitchen you go into. So of course, nothing right there. And I think that's where a potted plant sat along the wall. And then that's probably just staining from existing plumbing issues. Sweet little daughter's room, left it pink. Nothing really to show you much in here. I did cover up that. So that's like access panel to the shower. And then I did some drywall stuff down here. It was about 3 inches, not drywall. So I went ahead and did that. Added this here to keep anybody from screwing around in there. And put up this little simple shelf. And also, same thing. Got some hardware off another door. Finally put the hardware on this door. Never had that. Door stop. Put this. This had a Peter Rabbit switch on it. This was never painted the entire time. Attic access. I got that. Got the fire alarms all working in the house. As batteries died and one of them started giving me trouble, I just removed them all and lived dangerously. But can't do that with kittens. This was the little love nest. Bedroom. This color is called Ghost Gray. Did some magic. Ran out of space there, so not sure what I was saying. I think I said magic eraser the wall. It's a Mr. Clean product. So that was the closet organizer thing that was here when I was living here. One thing I didn't do is I didn't put any little sort of baseboards around to kind of finish off the drywall, but I would have done it if I was going to sell the house. But, you know, stuff like that can wait. If I did everything, I would just, you know, the old man time or whatever you, I don't know, I would die before I finished. Okay, so the bathroom. Took down the mirror I made for my wife. It was a Christmas present. That existing mirror made out of one of the window frames or a door jamb. Can't remember. But I just got this mirror. It's a little small for the spot, but you know, they can put a different mirror there if they want. These are $15 at Walmart. I didn't end up doing the like built-in vanity. You know, it's got this closet here, so you got plenty of storage right close to the bathroom. Somebody can stick something under there if they'd like. Stuff like I touch-up painted this wall. It gotten dirty and it was just spots with spackle. I never sanded and finished. So a lot of stuff like that. Had to do a lot of wall touch-up around it. All my pencil marks from where I had marked all the studs and everything when I did the sink job. Nothing to say in here. I did notice this very sad thing. That's a tiny rust spot where there's a little chip. Tell me what to do about that. And then today I had a disaster. And what I mean by that is I had to pull the toilet and replace the flange. And it turned into a whole big thing. Took like an hour last night and then pretty much all day today just fooling with getting this toilet set. You know, flange issues can be tricky, but the toilet is nicely set and shimmed and set in a bed of silicone and wax ring. Got a father-in-law who is a plumber, so I can call him and talk to him, talk through different things. When I was talking to my, I called my wife last night, and she put me on speakerphone, so the kids were listening to me, and I said, having toilet problems. So I called Grandpa and talked toilets, and when I said that the kids busted out laughing. They thought that was so funny. Toilet talk. So that's the tour of the house. We'll do a couple shots, I think, outside before we lose the light. Show you a few things out there and the basement as well. But for those of you who are sort of new to my channel and haven't seen me finish anything, this is an example of a renovation. This is nicer than I would do if it was for the sole purpose of doing the rental. Concrete countertops, the stainless steel stuff, the little live edge bark cabinets, that one I made up there. The reason it doesn't have doors, it was like we had nice looking things up there. Our, light dishes were there, and this was a little mug shelf. I always planned on doing a really cool little mug shelf here for like mugs we buy on trips, like handmade pottery type mugs. All right, let's go check out a few things, other things. It's gonna be windy, but I went and bought some of these little inexpensive solar powered lights, and I put those at each sort of step in the sidewalk. I was always familiar with doing all the walking around and stuff, but somebody else isn't gonna be smooth this out. Still need to cover up my pipe there. Kind of want to dig in beside it and get it set in the ground a little further. Still need to put that coupling on there, and then that pipe will fit in right there. But I was going to do stepping stones all the way across here, but I just ended up getting some bags of mulch just for a quick solution and just dumped that in here, and that's perfectly fine. Makes for a dry walkway. Everything is all clean. Just now realized I forgot to put this. I want to put another 4x4 post up to here and a 6x6, 2x6 across to it. It's never ending. These boards here, tomorrow I have to come back and I'm going to trim around the basement doors, but I think I will spontaneously combust if I stay for any more time. And for those of you who are familiar with my other channel, this is sort of the end of an era. Y'all saw me when I originally built my shop down here. It was just a mess, and I had to pressure wash the whole thing out, painted it, and it was just, perfectly painted floors. The walls were white, and then I started building all the stuff. So it's, it's not a bummer to lose this space, but it's a bit of a bummer. Might take my little things down there. That's for holding table saw sleds, table saw blades, roll of brown paper, and I had hand planes all over that. Tools in there, track saw tracks going through those racks there. Kind of just leave this stuff, and I don't know what I may end up doing. Shop sink. This is where a lot of the magic happened. So I did my engraving in here, for those of you familiar with that. I built this floor in here, when I first did this whole thing, and I did all my video editing right here. So you can imagine me in this little dungeon with a space heater blowing on me, working on that. I had a little miniature CNC machine there, and then my wood lathe right here in front of the window. So it was a ton to move out of this house. It was a lot to get everything out of here. So leaving those workbenches, and then leaving these workbenches. I really was going to take these, but I'm just not set up to do anything yet, putting them anywhere. But I have my metal lathe right here. And I originally did my engraving here, and even had an engraving spot right there. Had it in my mind like my dad and me would both be in here doing it on occasion when I was learning how. Turn the light on. Ignore the motorcycle, that'll be removed. This is this side, so air handler, all the duct work. I always like the duct work in this house, really nice looking. This was my solution to the plumbing. I'm not sure you're even supposed to do it, but it is a 4-inch to 3-inch Fernco coupling, and the toilet flange goes right down into it. And of course, the toilet flange is screwed down with like 6 screws. It's all very firm, but it was a really tricky spot to be working. It's really tight quarters in here. And what I was trying to avoid was having to cut out all this whole section and replumb this to get the stub out closer up to the floor. So I think it's perfectly fine. Got them nice and tight. I think it's a good job. I had 2 wax rings leak before that in this bathroom. And I don't know why it leaked the first time. The second time it was the flange got broken. And I can't remember why it broke. I don't know, just broke where the bolt was, probably over-tightened it. But yeah. So the markings on the wall are, that's where a little water comes through the wall. Main water shut off, hot water. Added the expansion tank. I have a pressure reducing valve, but then I also have the expansion tank. It was getting, messing up the cartridges and stuff. I think the water meters in my area and probably all over the place now, they have check valves in them. So the city system can't act as an expansion when you get thermal expansion from a tank. And I don't know. I think it's a real thing because the cartridges in this house just got ruined. And so that's why I ended up replacing some of the faucets and stuff. But that's the basement. Let's do some final views outside.